Am I the asshole for being brutally honest with my infertile SIL? My younger brother has been with wife about 7 years, 5 dating 2 married. In the early years my husband and I put in a lot of effort to get to know her as my brother lived with us and she would be over almost every day. It just never happened. Even when my husband would drive her an hour out of the city to see her parents, sometimes he could barely get 5 words out of her. So we figured she was shy or didn't like us or whatever and eventually just stopped pushing. When we had our first kid it was the same deal. The one time she was around our kid for the holidays she just said she didn't really do kids and walked off, which is fine, they are our spawn, we don't expect others to like them lol, so we haven't pushed our kids on them. We still invited her and my brother to baby showers and birthdays and events. We have 2 kids now. But always made it clear they didn't have to come if it wasn't their thing, and they never did. My other brother and his husband are child-free but love being uncles. They come around a lot, they spend a lot of time with our kids, it's great and we are very lucky. Well, recently my younger brother and SIL started trying and learned she is infertile. Obviously I feel awful for them as I can't imagine how it would feel. I reached out to my brother about how he wanted us to deal with things going forward as I am expecting again, and I didn't want to do anything or invite them to anything that would hurt even though they never come. Well, my brother said they wanted invites and would be coming to things now. I was a bit surprised, but as he said they did show up to my youngest's b-day party. It was a disaster. My SIL would not stop nitpicking my husband and I and our kids. Our kids were too loud. I got the wrong food. They needed better manners. They needed better clothes. The kicker was when she kept trying to force my youngest to let her pick her up. She doesn't know her, so she didn't want her to pick her up. She went to my older brother's husband instead. My SIL then declared since my existing kids were brats she would just be the godmother and best aunt to my expected one and that they, brother and his husband, could have the others. I told her flat out that my kids aren't brats, they just don't know her and she doesn't get to play house with my new baby and ignore my other kids under any circumstances if she wants to be an involved family member. She argued with me, so I also told her she had plenty of opportunities to be in our and the kids' lives and I don't like how she's suddenly bursting in and being rude and controlling. Obviously I understand her recent fertility news is part of the reason she's acting like this, but I don't think that means she can't be held responsible for her words and actions or act like she's entitled to my kids' AITA? Not the asshole. I thought this was going somewhere very different regarding infertility. But infertility in no way excuses her behavior here. Not the asshole. I don't think you were being brutally honest. You were simply setting boundaries and calling her out on her behavior, like an adult should. You said absolutely the right thing. You need to be firm with her. Yes, infertility's hard. I'm now past the point where I could have had some kind of help to conceive. I've known since I was 18 that I would need help. Whatever she's finding difficult, that doesn't excuse her from minimum standards of behavior. You are so not the asshole. You are a gutsy mom. Not the asshole. I don't see that you were brutal at all. No, she does not get to use her infertility card to be rude and controlling. You know, they haven't had anything to do with your family up until now after this infertility issue. If I were you, I would not invite them to future events. I mean, why? Based on your title I thought you were going to mention her infertility in a cruel way. But you didn't at all, you simply, and rightfully, called out her rude behavior. No one gets a pass to be awful to others just because they're also going through something awful. Absolutely not the asshole. Not the asshole. It sounds like she was the one being a brat, not your children. Obviously some leeway needs to be made for her actions due to her recent infertility news, but given that she previously didn't do kids, and now seems to only want to be involved in your children's lives because she won't have any of her own, she should not get a free pass in being pushy and insulting to you and rude to your current children while claiming some kind of ownership in your unborn child. Not the asshole. I experienced infertility for 2 years, during which I hope my relatives gave me a pass for wearing sunglasses at family events so you couldn't tell I had been crying my eyes out seeing everyone else with their babies right after having a failed transfer, and for being privately salty about pregnancy announcements from acquaintances. I did not attempt to appoint myself godmother of previously distant family members' babies or call other children brats for not wanting me to hold them. Not the asshole. This sounds kinda creepy, to be honest. I just get the vibes of she'll try to take over the baby you're expecting.